Alright, we've done it before and you know how it goes. We're going to spin a wheel with a whole bunch of cute and innocent, beautiful and cherished childhood characters. And we're going to spin a wheel with up shit. I've actually got wheels this time. Real wheels that we add in post, but they're green screen. On the good side, our first mix will be the Mario Bros, which we are going to be style swapping with The Walking Dead. As usual, I need to get started with a bunch of references. Mario and Luigi on the left and The Walking Dead on the right. Most people are familiar with The Walking Dead TV show. It is of course adapted from a graphic novel, which will be our visual inspiration for our creation. Starting my sketch in a comic book character style and starting to envision what Mario and Luigi would look like if their first inception was in the style and a universe like The Walking Dead. Now for them to actually survive a zombie apocalypse, I mean, they've got to be tough as nails, especially because they're from the city. And that's, as we know, the most dangerous place when it comes to a zombie apocalypse. Now I started to feel like I was referencing Merle and Daryl Dixon, the brothers from The Walking Dead show, a little too directly, so I took the crossbow away. I imagine that they're part of an Italian mafia family that's been working in the crime world for a long time, and when the day of the living dead dawns, it so happens that these two brothers that have been used to, let's say, disposing of competitors, well hey, all of a sudden disposing of The Walking Dead isn't all that tough. There is a very gritty and quite harshly shaded style in the Walking Dead comic book series, so inspired by those references I make sure to add some gritty, harsh shadows and some harsh cross shading in areas before moving on to blocking in the colour. Now it's just a matter of adding a nice Walking Dead yellow to the background and some delicate hints of blood on the highlights of our characters. I am very, very happy with how this worked. It's one of those ones where like I could sort of imagine there'd be a way to make it cool, but seeing it in front of me is like, you know, yeah, okay, I'd watch that. Now the way I'm approaching these, like in the last video, I'm reimagining the series I'm drawing as if the first time it was ever created or imagined by anyone, it was in this different style or world. So this is what, to me, Mario and Luigi would look like as the Mario Brothers if they were invented for a comic book series that takes place amongst a zombie apocalypse. And I think it works pretty well. Now I want to do the Dixon Bros in the style of Mario. Let's go. Imagining what it would have been like if Shigeru Miyamoto, instead of inventing Plumber Brothers, invented adorable Apocalypse Brothers, tuned perfectly to the Mario and Luigi you know and love today. Of course, I had to keep those adorable big bulbous noses. It's a little odd to try and make it look Mario Luigi-esque without those charming mustaches, but with the proportions, poses, and features really angled towards the originals, and then of course making sure to mix in the elements of those Mario Luigi colors, it starts to very clearly become that Mario Brothers style. Even more so when I go in and add a whole bunch of soft shading to create that faux three-dimensional rendered feeling for that really fun, whimsical, and cute cartoony feel. I am just mind blown as to how well that works. I could totally see a Daryl Dixon style, like Daryl's Mansion. As fun as that would be to see, we've got so much more to see. So let's spin the wheel again, but this time around, I'm going to be joined by a special guest. Please welcome Alicia! Thanks for joining me, Alicia.
I didn't really have a choice.
I'll start off by showing you what I've done.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
So we're doing one each. I'm gonna spin the cute innocent one and you're gonna spin the messed up gritty one. You ready?
Oh, at the same time?
No.
No? Okay.
See it spinning.
Oh, sorry.
Powerpuff Girls. Did you watch Powerpuff Girls?
I haven't.
I mean, it is before your time. Wow, I'm old. Spin something messed up for us. And it's the boys.
The boys.
There's a lot of crossover. We've got superheroes on both sides.
We could do a lot with this.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
So obviously I wanted to go for some super epic superhero powers, and I feel like there is actually a bit of crossover in terms of powers between the Powerpuff Girls and the boys, because they have like laser eyes, they do tornadoes, and they've got like lightning powers, and all of that I've actually seen in the boys. So I'm kind of just drawing them as realistic, like comic book style superheroes. I started with Blossom, and I kind of wanted to make her Homelander adjacent, because they're both kind of like the leaders of the group. So she's in the middle, she's looking really powerful. And then Bubbles I thought would be really cool to draw as
Starlight. She's totally Starlight.
In saying that, I did want to make them all kind of evil and intimidating, kind of like they're up to no good. So starting off, I wanted to have them all like floating in the air, kind of like it's a poster for the 7, because I feel like there's a lot of like posters and propaganda in the boys.
The silhouettes are really cool too. Like you've got this real front on one, and then the 2 that are on the side, but they're also like, they're really dynamic.
It's actually the Powerpuff Girls pose.
They
have like the 3 and they're sort of like radiating out. I thought it would be really good to have that as a nod to the original cartoon. I feel like the colour choices were a bit of a no-brainer. Obviously the Powerpuff Girls have their own assigned colours, but just like making them a bit darker and a bit more grittier and desaturated. I wanted them to be like unified, but also have their own personality as well. So you've got Bubbles, who's sort of got the more Starlight. It's like a skirt and a halternet top, and she's got like a deep V for her belt, and those like thigh-high boots and those long gloves that make her a bit girlier and a bit more sweet. And then you've got Buttercup, kind of more inspired by the Deep, which there isn't a lot of like crossover personality-wise, but I thought they're both green.
Yeah,
so
I see that. That's cool.
So I decided to add a couple of the Powerpuff Girls superpowers. So I added the tornado, the sonic sound for Bubbles, and then adding some like really chunky black shadows just as a nod to the comic book version of the boys.
Oh my god, it's so good! This video is brought to you by the JAZZA'Studios.com shop. Go check it out today. There's so much in there that you'd love, from my ultimate digital brush collection and digital painting handbook, both of which I made with Alicia, or the newly released Character Design Masterclass, an in-depth guide into creating characters from start to finish, showing you how to achieve character design outcomes you can be proud of. From digital products to merch, and anything and everything gotten from there as a direct support to the channel. So a massive thank you to anyone who supports my channel through this, and enjoy your new goodies. Okay, you have seen the boys. Now prepare to check out the girls. That sounded a bit like... I just made a weird confession. I haven't watched a lot of the boys, but the designs of the characters in the comics are actually what I anchored myself to here anyway.
Okay.
Because the designs are quite different, but they're way more translatable to like a Powerpuff Girl style anyway. The TV show sort of makes it more gritty and more like neutral and realistic, but I need more of that campy comic book vibe. So Starlight was the easiest, and just like you, obviously, I'm anchoring her to Bubbles, even pinching the same colors. The other thing that I'm doing too is I'm trying to draw them all as Powerpuff Girls. I'm specifically referring to like their age, like they're the perfect little girls. If the boys were invented in the style of Powerpuff Girls, they would have all been kids, and they would have all been sort of experimented on with Chemical X in the same way that they were with Compound V. So Homelander is a little kid with the proportions of the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, you did the laser eyes.
Yeah,
the
look,
Powerpuff style. That's so cool.
Exactly. I have to allude to his power there.
He's so much more likable now.
I know. Queen Maeve was also more straightforward. I could sort of like anchor to Blossom. Even though in the comic book she has blonder hair, I decided to sort of keep some elements of the TV show.
Yeah, it separates her from Starlight as well.
And then moving on to the Deep
character. Oh, he's so cute.
He looks like Kenny from South Park. I could picture him going,
like this.
And he's just got these two little leg stumps and two little hand
He's
stumps poking.
adorable. I love him.
Yeah. So A-Train, again, really referring to the original costume design, who had the big A on his chest. I figured because there's purple elements of A-Train's costume in the TV show, I'd make his eyes purple for something different. Black Noir is, again, referencing the original comic book, where he's just sort of like, you know, mysterious looking. I made the reflections on him basically look like question marks, but tried to make it a little more subtle.
Oh, he's cool.
So I was like, what am I? Ooh, you know. As I start to put my 6 together here, I'm like, okay, I'm missing 7, but that's because in the TV show, we have our invisible guy. So literally, at the very end, they're like, and translucent. So there you go. This is the 7 from the TV show, reimagined as if they were invented for the Powerpuff Girls. I'd watch the crap out of that. You spin the good one, and I'll spin the messed up one.
The good one, aren't they all good? And our final cute theme is Winnie the Pooh.
There's so many possibilities here, so let's see where we end up. Winnie the Pooh is going to be messed up with Hannibal from Silence of the Lambs. How the hell do we do this? All right, I have to confess, I was pretty stuck as to how the hell to do Winnie the Pooh in the style of Hannibal. You know, there's not a lot of crossover, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But I made sure to have a couple of bear references along with Winnie the Pooh references, and started basically by drawing a standing bear. I figured that's a good place to start, and prisonerifying him a little bit. So he's got the Hannibal mask, he's got some handcuffs. That's my starting point. And instead of a pot of honey behind him, he's got a pot of flesh.
Aww.
Maybe in this world, for it to truly be Winnie the Pooh, it needs to be a world full of characters that are animals.
It's like Zootopia.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly Zootopia, but like up. Now, I think the thing I was sort of like, okay, bears eat flesh, right? Like, you know, that's what they do.
Classic bear movie.
But in this world, it's like the carnivores are like murderers. So our Robin, our bunny, is like trying to figure out, how do we stop these murders? When Robin was a little child, she saw the murders of lamb. Dum dum dum. It's very scary. I've got this lore in my head that, you know, Tigger's off there being Buffalo Bill.
Rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Oh, of course.
Who's captured a little piglet in a well. And I'm like, okay, I've got to put a shirt in. Winnie the Pooh has that iconic red shirt, so let's give him a red prisoner's shirt.
Oh my god.
And start to define his fur a little bit. And then I have to bring it to life and polish it off with a bit of shine on my flesh pot, and of course, garnishes of blood to add that Silence of the Lambs garnish. It is Winnie the Pooh if instead of being cute cartoons in the 100 Acre Wood, it was about cannibalism.
That was the punch. You nailed it.
Okay. Yay! Childhood's ruined. Now, before doing your artwork, you'd never seen Silence of the Lambs before. Is that still the case?
I watched it last night.
You watched it last night! Well done. So you came into this thoroughly inspired.
So I went a similar route as you. I really want to do the honey pot, but make it gory.
You look so happy.
I really like the classic Winnie the Pooh pose where he's like dipping his hands in the honey pot, and he's just sitting down with his legs out. So I kind of went half Winnie the Pooh, but make it human as well. So.
Oh my god, there's a head in the pot!
Because in the movie, there's a head in a pot. So I imagine this is Hannibal Lecter when he escapes. He goes to his storage unit, but having a snack along the way. I really wanted to capture his like bulging, like haunting eyes, and I think I did that.
Childhood still ruined.
Yeah.
This was so much fun, and even more fun for being joined by someone as talented and messed up as yourself.
I was not messed up before this.
No, I know. We're all traumatized at the end of this journey, and if you want more trauma, make sure to smash that like button. Do you want more trauma?
No, thank you. I think I'm gonna
Okay.
pass on the next the
Alright,
next
cool.
video.
Alright, fair enough. Do you want to just put these back on and I'll see you
Okay.
later? I'm sorry, that's a terrible joke. It's a terrible joke. It's a joke. Thank you so much for joining me, Alicia.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more weird art and fun shenanigans. And of course, let me know in the comments what your favorite swap was. And I'll see you in the next video.